What's happening, friends? Welcome to episode 36 of Next Gen Newsweek, your weekly podcast for all the gaming news for the PS5, the Xbox Series X, and this week also the Google Stadia. And my name is Mitch. Joining me tonight is Richard.
Google Stadia.
It's a next gen console.
Yeah, I guess.
And Michael.
Howdy, guys.
All right, so we are going to start off. This is probably going to be, as new games come out every single week, or announcements come out, this is probably going to be our new segment where we're going to start off with just a game to highlight that just got announced this week. So this week we're going to be spending a little bit of time talking about the day before. So you'll be seeing in the screen now, or on screen, the trailer that was dropped for the day before. And Michael, I want to start with you because this game kind of looks like State of Decay with The Division, and I just want to know how you feel about that type of game. Is that something you want to play?
So what was released the day before?
The trailer for the day before.
So this was yesterday?
Yes. They could not have picked a better name. What happened the day before? What?
It looks interesting. I guess this is a this studio's take on God, what was that Nintendo 64 game?
Banjo-Tooie.
No.
Oh.
It's like, I mean, you had like different cars and buses and you could pick a character and you basically wallop each other with missiles and shit.
That sounds like Twisted Metal. But that's a PlayStation game.
It was like before Twisted Metal.
I'm
oh
lost.
My god! But yeah, similar to those types of games. But I mean, like this is just the new take on it. Like I think people would appreciate like a remake of those old games, but this is a new take, and I mean that in and of itself is interesting to me.
I've loved that it's I think it takes elements from a lot of games that are starting to come out now where like enemies, whether they're AI or if they're actual players, they can hear you whenever you get close to them. So like if you and your squad are, trying to loot a building or something and you're talking, other enemies, whether they're real or not, can actually hear you and able to adjust how they act depending on whether they can hear you or sense you or anything like that. So I think that's kind of cool. But Richard, what did you think about it?
I had my games mixed up, but I mean, carry on.
Oh, were you talking about Destruction All-Stars?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, dang. Well, tell us about the day before, Michael.
Yesterday I was just at work. It was a typical day.
How about the day before the video game? Shigeru Miyamoto was really nervous because he didn't know how Mario was going to be on. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, again, still really interesting. I think some of at least from the trailer, I hope it gets sharpened up and tightened up a little bit. But some of the dialogue was just strained to me. Like it doesn't really seem like that's not how you talk to your coworker. That's not. Like, if y'all are going to go kill fucking zombies, they're like, well, I'll go look over here. Well, okay, you go look over there. No. Be like, bitch, go do your work.
Was that actual in-game audio, though? I almost thought they were trying to, like, reenact how people playing together might speak.
You mean like on Whose Line Is It Anyway, where they just ab-lib the Russian movies and shit like that?
I don't feel like they were trying to ab-lib gameplay.
Yeah,
like what it
pretty
might.
much.
That's the way I took
Hello,
it from it.
my friend. How about we drive to the location? Okay.
The location.
Pretty much. That's it. All right, Richard. Now to you.
I liked it. There's sort of a surrealism. It made me think of Mafia 2. I don't know if you guys have played that, but the character you play as, you're coming back from World War II, and it's during Christmas. And you got, Bing Crosby playing and the lights, and it looks awesome for the period. And I felt like, as they were driving through, it's obviously Christmas, you can see the decorations and stuff. So the ambient level was really good. I thought there was a lot of attention to detail, and it really captured that feel. Probably not going to play it, though. I can't get into MMOs. When I play a game, I really like to kind of melt into it, so to speak. I don't know what the right word is. And if I'm playing with other actual people, that kind of pulls me out of that zone. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. So, if there was, I don't know if there was maybe an optional way, like Fallout 76, that's an MMO, but you can play that and almost never encounter anybody or have to interact with them. So if there was something like that, I might give it a shot. But if it's really heavily MMO, I probably have to set it out because it doesn't let me focus on it the way I'd like to. No, but it looks beautiful. It looks great. I'm
totally the same way. Like, remember a while back, like we were trying to play the Elder Scrolls Online together, and I just couldn't get into it. Just not my thing. If I'm gonna play, if I'm gonna play any kind of RPG or anything, like I just want to just solo it. Like later on when we were talking about what games we're playing, I'll just spend a little bit talking about Cyberpunk. But like I couldn't imagine like playing Cyberpunk, but it's a multiplayer game. Like, I mean, I want the multiplayer in Cyberpunk to come out eventually, but not have anything to do with the main story of the game because it would ruin the whole thing for me. Not as good with the transitions as last week, though. But Michael did already bring up Destruction All-Stars. So he kind of already gave us a little bit of a take on that. But Richard has gotten to play Destruction All-Stars. So, Richard, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about your time with the game?
It's in the show notes. You if it was still a $70 game, would you want to buy it? Absolutely not. It's not a $70 game. No. It's not a $60 game.
It's a free-to-play game.
Yes, it really should be. They're already trying to sell currency. I said before, it was almost like just playing like an alternate reality Fortnite. The same kind of characters exist, the kind of the over-the-top zaniness. You get to choose from a selection of characters. You don't choose a car, at least not in the beginning. You don't get to design your own car. There's no kind of element like that. You're dropped into an arena, and there's cars that spawn just randomly on these platforms. Now, when you get inside of them, they'll take up a paint scheme that's unique to your character, but there's no real customization as far as that. And there are 4 different games that you can play. They're all Destruction Derby based, but some of them kind of have a twist, like last man standing, or most point totals, however that goes. But it really feels, I don't want to call it like a soulless game, but there's no real point because you're not increasing anything. You're not going to level up. There's no RPG aspect. The only reason to win is just have your name on a leaderboard. And competitively, if they play this game in, I don't know, whatever those things are y'all were talking about a few weeks ago with the neckbeards that stink, it might have that.
The esports stuff?
Yeah,
they have a name, like bronies. Okay,
so, if in an esports situation, it might be pretty cool, but just as far as dedicating yourself to it, playing it daily. Of course, there's people that play Fortnite daily, and I don't see a point in that either. So I could be way off base, but to me, there's nothing there that would keep me coming back day to day to play it. I mean, it's fun to stick around with for a little while, but they're already selling currency, so you can buy in-game currency to unlock different cars, which you'll hopefully get access to, and you'll hope that they'll spawn, but I don't know. I don't even see how they're going to sell currency that much with as random as the game is, especially when you're playing it.
I really like the it's a game mode. I think it's called Blitz, maybe. I think it's Blitz, or but like it's the one where like the platforms like start to disappear, so it makes the arena smaller as you're playing it. I watched a video. I haven't played it myself, but I watched a video of somebody doing it, and that game looked fun doing that kind of gameplay. Some of the game modes actually kind of reminded me of custom Halo 3 from way back in the day, like some of the game modes they had, not the actual way, like way the game plays, but just the game modes themselves. But I don't know. I don't have a PS5 or else I'd play it. But just a quick note though, if you have PlayStation Plus and maybe you don't have a PS5 yet, but you're planning on getting one, go download the PlayStation app, go on there and redeem the game so you already own it for when you do get a PS5, because we don't know when it's going to fall out of the PlayStation Plus rotation, because Bugsnax was in there for 3 months. It may be 3 months that it's in there.
Vigilante 8. That was the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to say it actually said it. It's not going to show me
Good
now
job,
because I've already downloaded it, but it does have a free from now until, I want to say it's like March 4th, maybe.
So it probably is just a month.
That's what it says.
But if you're planning on getting a PS5, just make sure you go ahead and download it, because like we've said, that game is $70. And it's, not to mention, it's $70, but it's also got microtransactions in it. So
could not be further from that.
Yeah.
As far as worth goes.
Yeah, so I would definitely go ahead and just download the PlayStation app and redeem it. I gotta re-up my PlayStation Plus for a month so I can get it. So I only have to pay $10 for it.
I mean, if it was worth $70, they wouldn't be giving it for free on release day. So,
well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I like to think that they took the Fall Guys route with it, where they took a smaller studio and they were trying to give them the push to get out the door to help them out. So like, because that game, it was free on PS Plus for a month too, and then but also they charged what? Well, the game was what, $30?
$15?
$20 on Steam.
That.
So I mean, it's probably just a nice little help.
To be honest, like, I mean, Destruction All Stars, I wouldn't have a problem if it was, $19.99 or $29. It's just the fact that it's $70. That's a huge pill to swallow. I don't see it at all.
Right.
I wonder how much of that is because they felt the game was valued at $70, or Sony said, hey, this is a first party Sony exclusive and we're making all of our first party exclusives $70.
Yeah, I think it's just their way of driving up the price.
Keeping with PlayStation, and I'll tell you what, this actually could kind of go well with Destruction All Stars. PlayStation has filed a patent for technology to allow spectators to mess with you while you're in VR. Imagine Destruction All Stars, but you're playing it in VR, and people are watching you play it, but they're messing with you while you're driving. There's like I don't know.
See, I don't understand like how you can patent something like that, because if my nephew was playing like that Resident Evil on VR and I came up and like just hit him in the back of the leg with a golf club, I mean, are they going to sue me when I do that? If I do that now, because they own the patent to messing with people while they play VR?
Whoa, wait. Are you doing this in the game, or are you coming up behind him in real life and hitting him with a golf club?
Thinking.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, that's, maybe something's happening on screen and I want to enhance it for him and let him feel that pain. So, it adds a new level, and I don't know if that's what they're going for. Maybe that's what they're talking about.
They already started doing this with Twitch and what was that game? Hyperscape.
Okay.
Twitch and Hyperscape does that.
I thought you meant with VR, but yeah, you're talking about just in general with the
general,
audience messing
with
the...
but I don't know about specifically VR. Yeah,
and that's actually a really cool concept. Yeah, that's a really cool.
It'd be really
concept.
nice for like Phasmophobia. You could just be like a ghost hand and fuck with them.
Oh my god, that game doesn't need any of that stuff. That doesn't need any.
You're playing Street Fighter on VR, and some little guy that works for Sony sneaks in your house and kicks you in the face. That's a whole new level.
And they're both naked. It just.
They may be onto something with this.
Yeah, they break into your house, they're naked, and they just start shouting at you in Japanese. You have no idea what's going on whatsoever. They kick you in the nuts, and then they just leave. It's just...
Actually, I don't... did you guys ever see... They did a blood drive that was similar to what we're talking... Well, I guess it's not similar to what we're talking about, but I don't know, you played a game or something, and literally they like sucked blood out of you when you got hit. I'm going to have to Google it. I swear it's a real story, but it was a blood drive. and you played this game. As you got
I mean,
hit,
that
they took
sounds
blood out of you.
interesting.
I mean, it's certainly gimmicky, but I mean, I'm sure they raised a lot of money that way.
Do y'all?
Well, I remember some hacks in like the early 360 days where people were replacing their the rumble, like the motors for the rumble, and replacing it with the shock collar from a dog collar, and then just putting like screw bolts into the casing so that it shocks you when you're playing fighting games and you get hit. It shocks you.
Yep. Do y'all remember the Wii Vitality sensor that never came out?
I do vaguely remember hearing about that.
So so you have the Wii remote and it had the same attachment for it, but it's literally a thing that like the little heart rate monitor that goes on your fingertip, and you're playing a game, and if you start doing well and you're like your heart rate's not racing, the game gets more difficult. But if you once it's like for a horror game or something, but as your heart rate starts going up, it makes the game easier. And they had like patented the Wii Vitality sensor. They showed it off at like E3 one year. Never came out. But Nintendo patented that technology for that, which I was just like, this is so freaking weird. Like, I'm not ready for that level of stuff. But I mean, they technically could. Like, if you think about like every major technology company and how if they like work together on stuff, like the new series of Apple Watches have heart rate monitors and EKG sensors and stuff in them, so you could. Like, it could be monitoring you while you're playing a VR game or something if they wanted to. It's completely ridiculous how much stuff.
And most of that, like the hardware, like software side, it's a little bit different, but the hardware side is really extraordinarily simple technology.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd be surprised. Like for like your heart rate and even like the oximetry, it's really just an LED passing light through your vessels in your finger. And it senses the oxygen based on the color and, like the viscosity of your blood.
Mm-hmm.
And the EKG, basically like sending like this micro pulse through your body, and reading the feedback from that.
Wow!
And just using like hyper intelligent computers to figure out what your body mass is and stuff like that.
Look at you go, Mr. Pharmacy Man.
I can't find the story, but I swear it happened. I guess part of the problem is there's a PlayStation game called Blood Drive that has absolutely nothing to do with what I was looking for. But apparently Bandai Namco at TwitchCon back in 2019, they had an event where you could trade your own blood for a copy of Code Vein.
This just in, Bandai Namco is ran by vampires.
Yeah, no, they worked out a partnership with the American Red Cross as a blood drive. If you went and donated blood, you got a free copy of Code Vein, which is a vampire game.
I guess that's one way of inviting them into your home.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go. All right, our next topic here is going to take us down a little bit of a dark road because I don't know if you guys remember this because it happened 14 months ago. Google launched their first ever home gaming console. I'm sorry, it's not even a home gaming console. It's a cloud gaming console called Google Stadia. And as of February 2021, they have officially shut down Google Stadia's internal development teams for making games for Google Stadia, which is the beginning, in my opinion, the beginning of the end of the Stadia and what it is. Yeah. I don't think anybody really expected Stadia to take off. Everyone kind of expected Stadia to collapse because Google abandons their projects as fast as they make them.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Did they even make anything?
No.
I don't recall an exclusive to Stadia.
They had 2 or 3 games in development that are probably never going to see the light of day. So yeah,
I didn't know that was the cheapest way to play Destiny was on the Stadia because you got all of the expansions together.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the Stadia, like for what it is, like for $100 you get the controller and the Chromecast that can run the games, and I think it comes with a couple months of the subscription service. It's not a bad get up. It's just Google's not gonna support it like they need to, because I guess it's not making the money like they want it to. But like,
well, I mean, you also on the horizon, Microsoft is about to go into the whole cloud thing, and I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to compete against Microsoft.
I mean, honestly, and they weren't ever pushing it. Besides the initial release, I don't think I saw any advertisements for it.
yep,
And honestly, they've kind of had their own uphill battle as far as networking goes. They've been trying to install like fiber optic cable for years, and are having to fight with other cable companies because the other cable companies are fighting them for the I guess the physical space on the lines.
mm-hmm. That and
So-
yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I never expected Stadia to really just like take off. But to your point though, how it was like the best way to play Destiny for a little while. It's currently on a console level is still the best way to play Cyberpunk, because it plays it like a PC would, but you don't have to have a PC to get into it to play. And for a while, if you bought Cyberpunk on Stadia, they were giving you the whole Stadia starter set for free. So you pay $60 and you get the controller and the thing and Cyberpunk, instead of having to pay, what was that, $160 for all that stuff?
But
So
It's
I
pretty
thought
good.
you said it ran better on console, Mitch.
look, I actually need to, when we talk about Cyberpunk a little bit, I need to like redact some of that, because I have new thoughts.
Uh-oh.
I have new thoughts.
Okay.
But I think I was kind of just in the moment with it. But we'll talk about Cyberpunk in a little bit, because yeah. Anyway, but on the horizon, we've lost. I'm calling Stadia as a lost cause, but Mr. Elon Musk and his new Tesla Model S are able to run Cyberpunk and The Witcher, which is I don't know how I guess it's running the PC version of the game somehow. But yeah, the new Tesla Model S, I guess it's the 2021 model, is capable of playing games as powerful as Cyberpunk, which I don't know. I only know one person who owns a Tesla, and I'm pretty sure he's not a gamer. So
He might be.
I think he plays golf games and maybe Madden.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean that kind of further pushes the envelope. Can we get an emulator for a Tesla? Can we have like a run environment for a Tesla?
I mean, it's possible.
I mean,
think
although I knew they were already they had some games built into the car, because you can use some of the games while you're in park, and you can drive with the steering wheel. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was my next thing. Is I'm pretty sure that they've said that these games are not playable while you're driving, so you can't let the car be an autopilot or whatever, and then just look over and be using the steering wheel to drive in Night City.
Die, demon!
Yeah. So my little side note in here was, hopefully you can play Cyberpunk without transferring bugs from the game into your car, because you just have people clipping in and out of the car.
You know, this is probably a good option for people if you're having a hard time finding a PS5. You could just buy a Tesla Model S.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
They might be more available than the PS5. So,
or you could just buy 5,000 PS5s and you come out.
there's a little bit. I was about to say there's a little bit of a cost difference, but
a little bit.
you know, how bad do you want it? That's the thing.
So anyway, that's something to look forward to if you're in the market for spending upwards of $75,000. And actually, no, he changed the price of the Model S to, what was it, $69,420. So
that's a deal. I'll put that on Open Box
Yeah.
Deals.
it is. It's a big deal. You can also buy flamethrowers from Elon Musk too, if you didn't know that. So
Those are always awesome.
yeah. All right, and time for our big topic this week. And I say big, but we really don't know a lot about any of this stuff. And this is the biggest
Big
games.
Mommy Milkies.
Yes. No.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
A big list of games that we've known about for years now, that no longer have release dates or in development hell, or maybe they are still coming out this year, allegedly.
Allegedly.
We've got a nice list here. I would say it's in alphabetical order, but it's not. It was just as the games came to me. However, we'll go through the list, and then we'll talk about ones that stick out to us, because I know I've got a couple in here, and I'm sure you guys do as well. This is just the biggest games that are missing so far that have not come back up since going into quote needing further development, or in some cases restarting development and other reasons. So we have Dying Light 2, Dead Island 2, which I thought that those were made by the same people, but they're not. Beyond Good and Evil 2, Metroid Prime 4, Breath of the Wild 2, Skull and Bones, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, Far Cry 6, Rainbow Six Quarantine, Bayonetta 3, Starfield, and Elden Ring. Richard, anything on the list stick out to you? You want to see a release date for or more about?
Starfield, I just want to know if it's an exclusive or not. I actually think it's going to be a year or two before we can see anything concrete about that. I don't think they were too far along when they announced it. It was last year or the year before last.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring's curious because I really thought we would have at least had a release date by the end of last year, for some time in 2021, but it seemed to have just went quiet. It'd be nice to have an update on Elden Ring. Far Cry 6, I'm pretty sure that'll come out this year. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. I was a huge fan of the first one, and I figured it'd be pushed back a few months, but I mean that had like a concrete release date last year.
Mm-hmm.
that got pushed back, and then they just simply went AWOL.
I will say with Far Cry 6, with Far Cry 6, they said that the game could come out anywhere between their 2021 fiscal year, which starts March 1st through February 28th of next year. So
yeah, I think we'll see Far Cry 6 this year.
I think it's a summer title, probably, maybe early fall.
Starfield's probably 2023. I think 2023 is going to be a big year. Elden Ring, out of everything, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, because that game really looked complete, and at least they thought it was complete enough to give it a concrete release date of last year. And then they pushed it, and now they're just not talking about it. It's very, very odd.
Yeah.
Very odd indeed.
Oh, something I forgot to add to this list, and I know it's something y'all probably interested about. Hellblade 2. That was like the first true next-gen game that was shown off by Ninja Theory. It is an Xbox exclusive, but I mean, that was like I said, first game ever shown off on the Series X or in next-gen in general. So forgot that on the list, but anyway, Michael, anything on the list stick out to you?
Not in particular. I mean, it is kind of sad that all those are kind of just like in limbo too. And then another game I'd like to add, even though it wasn't like really slated for next gen, is Anthem. It's kind of gone on a back burner in the studio because two of the leads have left that were developing on the game, and now we know even less about it. And with the next gen out, it's like, are we still even getting an update, or are you just going to go on and make a second one? And at this point, I think anybody who still is a fan of the game wouldn't care either way as long as they got some news.
Yeah. That's BioWare, right? EA, yeah. BioWare. I mean, they've got the Mass Effect trilogy coming out in May, and then after that, they're switching over to Dragon Age 4. So, I mean, I think I'd say it's pretty safe to say
it's definitely on a back burner for them, for sure.
I'm pretty sure they'll just do an Anthem too. Like, I think that's probably the safer bet. But I mean, hopefully. I mean, like, I never got to give Anthem a try. I know you really want me to, just like No Man's Sky. But
just like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. Y'all talk about Anthem. I was just saying that new Saints Row has been in development for.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with the statement that they made, it's been in development for at least 4 years now.
Yeah.
And we don't, I mean, it's been confirmed, but we don't have a title. We don't have any screenshots. We don't have anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could technically add GTA 6 to this list too, but nah. It technically only quote started development last year, so is it really missing yet?
Oh wow! If they just started last year.
Well, I bet they've started planning for a while, but as far as just like getting into the weeds with it, I think
Let's say that could be
year.
like 2025 or 2026.
It'll skip the Series X and the PS5. It'll be a PS6 game. A couple I want to throw out here just to add to this. Dying Light 2, along with Rainbow Six Quarantine, were delayed because of people not wanting to, like, from what I understand, it was because they were trying not to release a game about zombies in quarantine during the middle of a pandemic. Like, that was, like, one of the reasons that was given why those two games were delayed. I really want Dying Light 2 to come out because Dying Light 1 is one of my all-time favorite games. I used to really like Dead Island 2, but then I can't remember the whole thing with this, but Dead Island 2 has literally changed development like companies, I think, 6 times since it was announced back in 2014. And now its current developer is a company that's only made mobile games up until now. So I think that game's just done. It's never coming out. And actually, the other, you would think I want to talk about Breath of the Wild 2, but I actually don't. The other one is Skull and Bones, because this game was announced, God, I think 3 or 4 years ago, and literally the whole concept of the game was taking the ship combat from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but making a whole game about it. And pretty much to me, it looked like Sea of Thieves, but with a realistic tone. Like if you took Sea of Thieves, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and then made a game about it, and that's what it looked like. And I was like, this looks like the best game I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's probably gonna, in a way, be like Destruction All-Stars, where it's very like just not a lot there, but it's gonna be great.
Yeah, but it's nautical combat though. I'm down for some nautical combat.
Yes, but
I'm not disputing the reason for Rainbow Six Quarantine and Dying Light 2 about the pandemic, but it almost seems like a cop-out because that sure as hell didn't stop whoever made the day before.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that game's still technically in development though. Like it's not coming out anytime soon.
The first of that trailer when it was talking about like such and such had made billions off the pandemic. I swear that was an actual headline I saw the other day.
It was. It was.
Or those movies that were about bombing the World Trade Centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there are plenty other games that we are not on this list that could be brought up in conversation. So let us know in the chat or in the comments or on Twitter if you have a game that you're looking forward to that's not on this list. Let us know what it is, and we'll bring it up next week. I didn't mean to smack my microphone. Sorry if you guys heard that. All right.
It's like someone's strumming a guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've gotten through all of our news this week. We have a trivia question for me to ask you.
What? Maybe hold on. I feel like there was a note that suddenly vanished.
Oh, I know what it was.
It's because it did. He was hiding it from you.
I forgot to put it in the
note. Someone buying somebody.
Yes. Great. Now I can't think of.
I'm
who
buying
it is.
Mitch. $5.
Somebody buying somebody.
Embracer
or a
Group.
Merger or
Embracer
something.
Group purchased Gearbox for $1.7 billion.
$1 billion.
If you're not familiar with Gearbox, they are the company that makes Borderlands games, and they've actually gotten their hands in some old Halo and I think maybe Gears of War back in the 360 era. That they've been purchased by Embracer Group, who is a parent company that owns THQ Nordic. I'm going to pull the whole list up because I can't remember every single one of them off the top of my head. Actually, can someone else do that because my monitors are taken up? And I've lost everything. It's I know they've got THQ Nordic, which they filed for bankruptcy a few years ago, I believe.
How much money did you say the bill was? Did you say 1.7?
Pretty sure it's $1.7 billion.
Yeah, no, it was 1.3.
Oof.
Yeah, you were off by 0.5 billion, Mitch.
It's
My
point,
goodness.
0.4.
We need to have accurate, monetarily
Okay.
accurate
It's,
details on this podcast.
They have THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, Koch Media, Deca Games, Amplifier, Game Invest, and Coffee Stain Holdings.
Yeah, coffee stain.
Yeah, coffee stain. Right on your pants.
So yeah, they've kind of mentioned that this merger is to like help Gearbox get some more financial support for their games. But then I find it interesting that like I say, Gearbox, they really just do Borderlands now, and Embracer is like their parent company that's going to be supporting them. But 2K Games is still publishing Borderlands, so that's kind of weird. But if we're bringing up, I forgot there's also other announcements. I think this is more Richard's thing, but they announced that college football video games are coming back.
Yes, they are.
Big, exciting thing. I never really realized that they had gone away, but now I heard that there was a big licensing issue because the EA was stealing the likeness of players without paying them for it. And former PlayStation exclusive MLB The Show is coming out in April along with a Xbox version. So MLB The Show is no longer a PlayStation exclusive. I actually believe that game does come out on 4/20. So
yes.
I will say though, this is the first game, and I guess it's because it's made by Sony, that if you buy the Xbox One version, you do not get a smart delivery version for the Series X. So make sure you buy if you get the show on Xbox,
that makes sense.
Make sure you buy the right version of the game because it does not have smart delivery. So,
or hope your mom was a Karen.
I may pick that up. It's been years since I've played a baseball game.
Apparently, they're the best baseball sims out there. So
I think the last baseball game I played was King Griffey Jr. Baseball on the Super Nintendo. That's how long it's been.
My last baseball game was Mario Superstar Baseball on the GameCube, which is the best baseball game to ever come out, and I will fight anyone to the death over it.
Mario makes good golf games too.
I really like Super Strikers. I really did.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Mario sports games, they just hit different. But except for Mario Hoops 3-on-3, that game can burn in hell, but...
I've never even heard of it.
It's a 3DS. It's a 3DS
version, right?
3D, or yeah, it was a DS basketball game.
Terrible.
Don't need any of that. All right.
But the other one, you're playing with like you're like Mario, and you're playing with like Shaq. You know, it's great.
Yeah. It's like Space Jam, but just Mario.
Oh, Mario Hoops 3-on-3. It's legitimate.
What did
I don't know
you
what y'all are talking about, man. Like, it's highly rated, man. 4.3 out of 5, 4.7 out of 5.
Has a 6 on Metacritic.
Everybody loved this game.
It's not even a movie, but it's just got a negative 0.5 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
All right. So to break a little bit of tradition, every trivia question up until now has had something to do with something we're talking about this week. But I decided I had a really good trivia question last week that I was just sitting on, and so I decided I was going to go ahead and use it this week. So current standings, you both have 3 points to.
Let me turn
to Steven's 0. I'm gonna let you guys know. After we recorded last week, when we were finally able to make sure Steven was okay, and not dead or anything, I did ask him.
Steven is still not dead.
Yeah, he's still not dead. He's not dead. I asked him the trivia question, and he did not get it. So that will be the same thing this week. After we record, I'll be asking Steven the trivia question, and I will record it, and if he gets it right, we'll see it in the episode.
He could be listening right now. Oh, wait, no, he can't. We're not live. Never mind.
No, he's not.
Says he could be listening right now.
No. All right. Your trivia question revolves around an Xbox title.
Oh, wow. So I guess I'll guess.
Yeah. And your question is,
B.
What? No. I mean, maybe. Who knows? What? Oh, I was waiting for him to do it again. What character from Red vs. Blue had an entire game mode named after them in recent Halo games? Was it Church, Griff, Caboose, or Sarge?
Red versus Blue. What? Is that a game title?
So
I vaguely know this.
Okay. Let me do a little backstory. I could have worded this differently. Red vs. Blue was a Rooster Teeth production that was made in Halo Forge mode, where there was like a series where there was like a team of red Spartans versus blue Spartans, but it was like a comedy show or whatever. And they ended up taking the character from one of these episodes and turning a whole game mode into Halo based off of them and using their name.
Okay.
So the options
Eventually,
are...
they found the power of Rainbow, and so now there's more of them.
Yeah.
And then they got into Fortnite.
Ugh. They did go to Fortnite,
Which
didn't they? They did.
Technically puts them in the Marvel universe.
Yep. Fortnite is the merger of everything. Anyway, so the options again: Church, Griff, Caboose, and Sarge. Michael, you first.
Caboose.
Okay.
I'm actually going to say Caboose as well because Griff, I'm thinking you're playing off Back to the Future. And then Church just doesn't sound right. Sarge is too easy. So Caboose. Final answer.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the answer actually was B. It is Griff.
Damn.
It is Griff.
The name of the game
Back to the
is
Future.
Griff Ball in Halo, which is pretty much like soccer, or I guess it's kind of like a mix of soccer and basketball, but you have gravity hammers and you're just beating this ball and it's just using dumb physics and it bounces around the game, and then you have to collect the ball and put it in the... It's kind of like Mario Hoops 3-on-3. So anyway, the game got so popular in Halo 3 Forge that they turned it into a full game mode starting with Halo 4, and I expect it to return in Halo Infinite, which is also a game that is currently MIA, but it's slated to release fall of this year. So, that being said, let's spend a little bit of time as we close talking about what other games we're playing this week other than the games we've already talked about, which is, I think, just Destruction All-Stars and my little bit of Cyberpunk that I've said so far. Richard, what else are you playing this week?
All right, so I got back into Immortals, which I may have been playing that last week too. I don't know. I'm trying to get the platinum, trying to chew my way through that. It's still a really fun game. It just, after a while, some of the tasks and exploration just feels kind of monotonous. Mm-hmm. And then I finished... No, I did that last week. I already said I finished Stranded Deep. I'm playing Morbid and the Seven Acolytes on the Switch, which that's multi-platform. And it's kind of like Legend of Zelda and Bloodborne had a baby.
Oh.
And the problem is that, you can make a good 2D Dark Souls Bloodborne style game, but it's got to be side-scrolling platformer. It does not work for that 3/4 overhead thing, because literally, if you slash roll, you can beat anything in this game. It's that simple. Now, they put a mechanic in there where you're supposed to time your blocks, and then you can parry them, and then do that can get difficult because the timing window is different. I mean, there is a complexity where they wanted it to be difficult. No, if you slash roll, you can beat anything just to repeat that. You don't even have to upgrade your weapons. I mean, it looks beautiful other than the areas look the same and they're super large and there's no in-game map. I don't know if that was supposed to add to the difficulty. It certainly adds to the frustration. But the pixel art's great. The story's great. I mean, it really is kind of a nod to Bloodborne, but didn't execute very well. Did not. So, but I'm having a good time. I got it on sale.
Nice. Good. Did you get it through an open box tech deal?
Maybe. Do you do Switch like network deals?
I need to start following some channels that post them. Usually not unless they're like super great.
I'll say like when it comes to I've complained about this on the PS5. It's one of my only criticisms is that their PlayStation Store doesn't have a deals tab. They finally added that
Good.
with this past update. So there's actually a deals tab now, so you can see the current deals. But where I was going with that is, PlayStation it's Tuesday. Your deals stop and end on Tuesdays. Nintendo's are all across the board. It's hard to keep track of them.
There's reasons for that. A lot of the developers actually hate the store. So one of the ways that developers try to circumvent that is make their game like a penny. And so they get a bunch of sales that pushes them to the chart. Well, I forget how long this was, but Nintendo put a stop to that. So, now there's still no real way to sort things, and now there's no way for developers to really show off their stuff. So, Nintendo just really needs to pay attention to their developers and update their store.
This wasn't like a big topic, and I wasn't sure if I was going to remember everything to bring it up because I know I didn't write anything down about it. But did y'all see about that big not Pokemon leak, that big Nintendo leak that happened where they found out that the online system for, I think it may have been Splatoon, was like the net code and everything was something that was dated back to being something that was compatible with Windows 98? Like that's how old the system is that they're using. And I think God, what game is it? There's some. I think it may be. It's Monster Hunter Rise. That's where this came from, not Splatoon. But Monster Hunter Rise is using a newer netcode than every other Switch game. So they think that they may have finally updated their netcode to make it better for online play. But starting with Monster Hunter. But yeah, everything else could run on 98.
On one way, that still makes sense. A lot of those netcodes are. You're running everything off of a server. The servers don't need all the updates and prerequisites that a normal machine does. And Windows 98 is still really popular with commercial machines, like Walmart checkouts and stuff like that. So, hell, even airlines are still using DOS programs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't know.
I think it's still fine. It doesn't bother me. Just knowing about it personally, but with certain updates do come better, speeds and everything else like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I didn't mean to break that off, but so Michael, what are you playing this week?
Grown up stuff.
Oh.
I made a bank account. I got my car fixed. I really have had no time for games besides mobile games.
Raid Shadow Legends.
That's another ad for.
Yes, Raid Shadow Legends. I was trying not to say it. God damn it. Raid Shadow Legends. I'm still the same level. Once you hit that level 40 mark, it's just a fucking grind. I hate it so goddamn much. Please make me stop.
Hey, you need to email them and tell them that we keep constantly advertising their app on our show and they need to sponsor us. I'll put an ad in the front. You watch. I'll do it. So one of the we were talking about this before we started recording, about how Destruction All-Stars was not it wasn't a very good game. It was okay, but it wasn't very good. And one of the games that I started playing, I feel the exact same way about, but for different reasons, and that's the Medium, which is the first big Xbox Series X exclusive game that's come out. And boy, did I hate it. To be fair, I may still give it another shot, but from the time I spent with it, it's not my type of game, and the camera angles on it are complete atrocious, and they really just kind of take you out of the experience of playing the game. You really don't it. I think to a point Richard was making earlier about it when we were talking about it, is it's trying to be kind of like a cinematic experience, I guess, that you're kind of just playing through and really don't have any control over how it's going. You're just kind of there to live it. But oh man, it was bad. I mean, like I said,
you know, Silent Hill's done stuff like that before just to kind of capture that cinematic aspect. But it seems like with your reaction that maybe the developers of the medium, they just overdid it.
and it may be that those things that I'm experiencing may lift up once the game is more open. But just trying to get through the brief tutorial in the beginning and making a little bit of progress through the main story, it was very disorienting as far as like the camera angles go. And I know that like the way that the story is trying to be told, like they're not going to give you like a quest log or anything on how to do this or do that, but they barely show you how any of the mechanics in the game work. And like, God, I had to look for this stupid like tie clip, and it took me 45 minutes to find the damn thing. Literally searched this desk like 4 or 5 times, and by the time I finally like walked across the other side of the house, I found a room that I hadn't been in yet, and it said, "Oh, did you know that whenever you're looking at a certain thing, you can push the right stick to like look around or something?" And I'm like, they hid this thing, this little clue that you needed, or this control mechanic that you needed on the other side of the house in a room that had nothing else in it. So you could go back and have to go through every single thing again looking for this stupid tie clip. And it kind of just threw me out of it. So anyway, but on a brighter note, I departed Night City in Cyberpunk finally, so I have officially beaten the Street Kid run. According to the internet, I've got the best ending of Cyberpunk that you can get. I ended up
A happy ending?
happy-ish ending. Pan Am and I left Night City together. I'm with the, what are they called? The Aldecados? I think it's, no,
The avocados.
yeah. I think it's what they're
Yay.
called. But man, okay,
Spoiler
so
alert. A little late, but
I ain't worried about spoiling Cyberpunk anymore. I will say though, the character Adam Smasher lives up to his fucking name. That's all I'm gonna say. The final boss fight, but not against Adam Smasher necessarily, because depending on which route you take, he may not be your final boss. But the stuff that happens with him was it was nuts. It was great. It was great, and it was nuts, and the story was actually really good. I thought I was gonna hate it, but I loved it. It was great.
how much time did you put into that?
Let's see. 48 hours maybe into one run. I have so many side quests left to do. Like there's a point in the game where it says, "Hey, you need to literally do whatever else you need. You need to straighten all your shit out because once you walk into this room, it's end game. There's nothing else left for you to do." And once I beat the game, it threw me right back to that spot. Granted, I got to keep all the gear that I'd acquired while I was doing that. So all the high level armor and stuff I collected during the end game, I got to bring it back with me, and it actually it did scale itself a little bit back because I think I did end up retaining my level that I had before I started, so the gear kind of like degraded a little bit, but not by much. But it gives you because there's 6 different endings to the game. So if you like, say for instance, when I went in, I only had the option to initiate 3 of them. So I have the option to go back and do more side missions to get access to the other endings of the game. Pretty much. You don't necessarily. I've heard one of the endings is completely ridiculous. It's technically a secret ending, but you get the best gear you could ever get in the game by doing it. But it's nuts, and I believe the dude I saw on YouTube said no one has been able to complete it yet, which I find hard to believe.
Wow. Is that where you just sit at the table while your dad goes to talk to somebody and you eat crab ragoon? And then all of a sudden it ends? Yeah.
No, but there is an option where you can kill yourself. That's called that's called the worst ending. But no, the one of them's like
okay.
you have to storm this. I'm trying to be very discreet, but you end up, there's an option where you can storm the final area with anyone, certain people that you've encountered throughout the story. But there's an alternative one, which is called the secret ending, where you do it by yourself, and so you don't have any help, and you go in a different way. So pretty much instead of going through the secret way to get in there, you just walk through the front door of this building, and you are killing everyone, but they're all way higher level than you. And no matter what level you are, their level will always scale to be higher than yours. So that way they're not ever, you can't just go and grind constantly to beat them. Like, you have to just deal with it. And they can all kill you in about 3 shots, from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
I'm not trying it whatsoever. I can watch the YouTube videos of it.
Why not?
I'm not an achievement hunter. So
There's probably a trophy associated with it. Damn it, Mitch, come on.
I'm not an achievement hunter. I have no desire to go and do that. That was fun watching it on YouTube. Now that I know I've got the best ending in the game, I don't need anything else.
But if you don't concentrate on trophies and achievements, you'll never have a higher score than Chase.
I'm also playing on Steam, so I don't have a PlayStation score. So, all right, let's plug some social medias and let's close things out. So we'll go to Richard first.
Hey, my Bloodborne breakdown video is up. I'm gonna hold the Back to the Future video. The first one, the first game, is up as well, but I'm gonna hold that off since I just now put out the Bloodborne video. My Instagram is active again. I'm gonna go that route, so I'm gonna do Facebook and Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Board Game Breakdown, and check out the Bloodborne video.
You know,
it's a great game.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna rattle off. That was it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, since you don't really like to use Twitter, you can link your Twitter to your Instagram, and then every time you post something, you can just hit that Twitter toggle, and it'll send it directly to Twitter too.
Really?
Yeah. So you don't have to worry about posting.
I'll look into that
4 different times. All right, Michael, what you got? Other than also breaking news, Michael has officially eclipsed 200 followers on Unsolicited Nudes right before we started recording.
Woo!
So we're very excited for him. He's been trying for like a month now. All right. Anyway,
so
sorry.
many noodlings. And then open box tech deals. There's several small deals you can hunt around for. Newegg has 2 different sales going on right now: a Valentine's sale and a 72-hour sale. Target has some board games that are on sale. You can check those out. There's a couple of several different retailers have Amazon devices on sale. You can look those up. Last time I was at Walmart, they had several earbuds on clearance. So if you don't mind, Walmart's brand of the On earbuds, or Samsung still has those $50 buds, which are really nice. Get those all at a really great deal. And then we're still in that pit of suffering as far as next-genness. You can't get a next-gen console, and you still can't get any graphics cards right now. And that shows in the sales, because there are absolutely no graphics cards included with the sales. So I actually have a build planned probably in the next month or so, where I make a build that doesn't have a graphics card, where you can still at least get started on your gaming computer in a halfway decent way with minimal cost.
Nice. I will add to that, because we were talking about Walmart clearance stuff. I'm going to use this platform to address the fact that people use brickseek.com as a reliable source of information about Walmart clearance items. Just know they don't exist. You're not going to walk into Walmart and find a $50 65-inch TV. It's not happening. Except for when it did. And we sold all 3 of them within 5 minutes. So
yeah, let's say the same person probably bought all
they
3
did.
of them.
They sure did.
I would. I'd line them all up together and hook them up to my computer, and I'd just have the giant 3 screens to look at.
Yeah.
And, my eyes will bleed, but it'll be cool.
About unsolicited nudes, did you see the picture I posted the other day of the tree?
Yeah.
And it looked like somebody shoved spaghetti in it. I'm so surprised that everybody just took that at face value for what it appeared to be.
Richard,
and it's not.
Richard, can I be level with you?
Yeah.
I posted that in there like a month ago.
Are you serious?
And I think someone else posted it like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Really?
It's been reposted several times.
I'm sorry to take it away from you.
Anything that's had a description on it says it got burned that way, and that's the root
system.
system.
The tree was hit by lightning.
Lightning?
Yeah.
It could be Photoshop for all I know, but it's still nudely, and that's all that counts.
Yeah.
I'm upset now.
I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to think nobody didn't pay attention, but it was just like the third or fourth time.
I got a couple of likes. I didn't expect anything. It's just nobody commented on it. And I was like, wow, they just automatically assume that's a tree stuffed with spaghetti.
No.
That probably has already been went over about what it already is.
We just respect the nudeliness, and that's all that matters.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I really don't have anything to plug. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I streamed the other day. What did I play? Modern Warfare for a little bit.
You played with his ding dong.
Don't tell them that. Then they'll start trying. They won't tune in anymore. They might. I don't know. Michael will tune in.
Only Mitch's.
Yeah, only Mitch's. I've always been really active on Twitter. I'm trying to use that platform more. I actually ran a poll the other day. I think I did it on the podcast Twitter handle instead, but it was just putting it out into the universe. It was like knowing that or not. Well, God, how did I word it? Does the idea that a Switch Pro may come at some point deter you from buying a Switch now or something? And 80% of people who commented or liked it or whatever said that they were going to wait for the Switch Pro, and 20% said that they didn't care and they were just going to buy a Switch whenever they found one. So I love running polls. It's very interesting. So anyway, just rambling. We'll get out of your ears.
I like swinging on polls.
Wait, check out hang on. Check out Steven Breaker Beats on SoundCloud.
Yeah, Breaker Beats.
Always, yeah.
Brick down.
Yeah. Find Steven.
I'm sorry. It's racist.
Twitch.tv/thebreaks, THABREAKZ, and on SoundCloud at Breaker Beats 2020. He's also on Twitter and Instagram at Breaker Beats 2020. So follow your boy Steven on all the social medias too. And Steven, we miss you and we can't wait for you to come back. Hopefully next week.
Right now, he is breaking in his new home.
Yes. Just got him a new pad from what I understand. So anyway, that'd be exciting. He can have a little man cave to play all his gaming and stuff. Anyway, y'all have a good week. We'll see you next time with all of the exciting gaming news.
This week's podcast is brought to you by Adult Things. If you are a basement dweller and you live with your mom and you're wanting to get into doing your own taxes and have a savings account or figure out your credit score or buy a new home, check out Nico Fico Score.
Oh, God.
Meow meow?
Thanks, I hate it.